My name is Carmilla Collins. I was raised by a God-fearing single mother who is my rock, my foundation. I was also raised with uncle daddies and monties, mommy aunties, because again, in our family, we all bridged together to fill in the gaps, and in my family, there were many gaps. I was raised sometimes partly in the Midwest, but when my mother wanted more for me, she took me to sunny California, and I spent my formative years in California, being raised there in the melting pot. And I'm so grateful for that experience. My biological father, he was not much in my life for most of my life, but like I said, I had good uncle daddies and monties who filled in the gaps and loved me through those times.
Thank you so much for sharing. Let's just jump right into the questions. I sent you the questions and you did an amazing job answering those questions. I was in tears sitting in my car reading your story. I'm so excited that you get to share it. So the first question says, take us to a moment where everything changed or shifted for you. And maybe you can give us a little bit background of where all this came from. Because it sounds like you had a solid foundation growing up, but then maybe some choices that you made caused different situations or circumstances. Sure. So maybe you can just lead us up into those situations.
Oh, yeah, and thank you again. I had a great childhood, even though I had trauma throughout the childhood. My mom, she made sure I had food in my belly, there's plenty of it around, clothes on my back, and not just that, education. I was the first in our family to really go to college, so my mom made a big deal of it. She sacrificed so much. Went to Wichita State. My mom and my auntie drove me down there, I'm never going to forget it, down to Kansas, got me set up in my dorm room, and I was set for life. There I was, all of 18 years old, eyes wide open, getting ready to embark on my nursing career, and my life was all mapped out. And of course, with freedom, I was a freshman in college, the first time I've ever seen alcohol in abundance, first time I've ever seen all sorts of salacious activities full in my face, and I made some bad choices. The first choice that I made, I'm never gonna forget it, thought I was in love with my first husband and dropped out of school. My mom had sacrificed all this money and time, and I decided I wanted to be married because I didn't want to fornicate. What is it? What is even love? And then not to just think that I was holding myself to all these rules, you know, that because God is my foundation. I thank God for my mother and church, and not just church but faith. But when I was faced with my own freedom and then my flesh, I made decisions that were not of God. And my husband definitely was not a Christian. So I don't even know what I was saying there. He was
so you didn't want to fornicate, but you didn't care about the equally yoked part of it.
Didn't care about the equally yoked. I was picking and choosing my battles at that point. Yeah, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. But so I met this man. He was from the East Coast. I thought he was the love of my life. And went to New Jersey. Didn't last but 6 months in New Jersey. And of course, all sorts of things happened. If I'm just real transparent, and I've actually never spoken about this before, but while I was in New Jersey, I became pregnant with my first child. My ex-husband, he was very much a feminist, is what he said he was. During that time, there was a lot of discussion of abortion rights and freedoms. As a matter of fact, I met him in Wichita State University, and Wichita State was like a hotbed of abortion rights activists and things like that. And so he was on the front lines, and he was doing all this clinic defense. And honestly, I was just like along for the ride. I never really gave my opinion one way or the other. I was just along for the ride because I was my husband. Fast forward to I find myself pregnant, and I'm married too. I want to mention that I'm married and I'm pregnant, and without even a thought of what I wanted, the next thing I know, I was in the abortion clinic where my husband had worked for the abortion clinic, and so they were going to do this abortion for me for free. And again, I'm just along for the ride still. You know, I'm sitting up in the stirrups, and they're talking about clinic defense and all this. You hear the sounds of the machines, and oh man.
If you want me to stop recording, I can stop recording.
It's good. This is good.
Okay.
This is good. Thank you, God, for this opportunity to release some of this pain.
And if you cry, I'm automatically going to cry.
Oh, God, we got to be crying together. But release some of this pain, because I didn't realize how deeply that hurt me. I didn't realize how deeply that hurt me until I'm speaking about it. And now I understand why I just had to get out of there. Within a couple of months, I was like, I got to get out of New Jersey. I don't know what that was going to do for me, but just to distance away from that. And then just to talk about when I got back to Omaha and we're building a life for ourselves, and God blessed me with pregnancies again. I couldn't hold those pregnancies. I had what they call a premature dilatation of the cervix. So I had an incompetent cervix. So imagine feeling that hurt. You have messed up by destroying God's seed. Again, these internal things that the enemy puts in your head. So I was at the bottom of God's list. That's what I felt. And now I got this incompetent cervix. So the competent cervix won't hold the babies. So I had to get this thing called a Sherrod Carr stitch, which is where they sew your cervix up and they stitch it high up to where you won't dilate early. I remember being 5 months pregnant at University of Kansas Medical Center. And I had a resident doctor, and I was a big girl. I was a thick girl, but I wasn't like, and I was kept complaining of all these type of issues I was having. I was like, I'm feeling this pressure. I'm not feeling right. I kept telling him over and over again all these issues, and he kept sending me home, telling me I was obese, telling me it's a first pregnancy. It's common for you to feel these kind of things. Fast forward to I'm 5.5 weeks, and I'm in the restroom right there in our first home, and I look down, and the bag of waters is there. The baby is bulging out, and again, I'm all of 24. Okay, but I say all this to say this because again, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, God, for allowing me this space to talk about how I really developed a distaste for myself. I did not like myself. I really thought that I deserved like the worst of the worst because I had done all these things against a loving God who died and sacrificed on the cross for me. So by the time I lost my first child, and a couple years after that, he blessed me again. This time it was with the boy, my son, who's all of 27 years old. And the surgery, I had to do that same stitch surgery, but it was successful. And fast forward to having a great life with my 5-year-old son, and then my husband comes out the closet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, my best friend, the love of my life, who watched Color Purple with me, used to cry. Oh yes, honey, gave me the best clothes and made sure I had the best Kango hats. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so imagine in my Christian heart, and I'm saying now we have a 5-year-old son, and I didn't know what to do with that either. I did not know what to do with that. And it was not just the church guilt and the church hurts. It was me not understanding what my relationship was with God. People talk about, you have all these set of rules, and you know what sin is, you know what sin is not. But that relationship part, like even though I believed in God and I loved him and I believed in Jesus, that relationship was barren.
You were trying to live right for God. But the guilt that the church puts on you growing up, like it makes you feel like you, and I talked to Pastor about this because like I was humble and so servitude and so guilty that I lost myself. What you said, like I didn't know. I told him, I said, I'm mad. I said, because all I know is my favorite color is orange. Like I don't know anything about me. And so that's probably another conversation, just the guilt of the church and trying to be a young Christian and live right. Back then, it wasn't about relationship. It was all about law. We were already saved by grace, but from what my standpoint, we were still under, or from the don't, or this, or you're bad and unworthy, but not knowing about grace. You know what I mean? You're not understanding grace, not understanding that relationship part of it. And so, right.
Why don't we talk about it?
Because I feel your guilt. I felt the same exact way. Like I am this bad person. Oh God, I said I wasn't gonna have sex. I had sex again.
Yeah.
Oh, but we're covered under grace. Not that I'm gonna keep
doing it, but
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, this is the good Ash Schiff. Excuse me. This is the stuff, that shift in thinking. That's I would love it for not to have trials and turmoil to go through it. But yeah, so by the time this happened with my husband, I was pretty much all over the place as far as my faith. Okay, obviously, we weren't going to church. I can remember, I can remember being mad at God, saying, "Oh, you'll let the crackheads have babies, but I'm married with a husband, and I can't have a baby." Oh, who says that? Because I did. I did. I felt like I had this authority because I did some things right. It just gave me and I can understand how people in church think because they're doing a little bit right, have the nerve to point their finger. And I don't think that we serve a God that's like tit for tat. I definitely don't need that. But I say all this, say this. So fast forward to how I became a drug addict. Okay.
Part two.
Part two. So part two was that this time in my life had shifted so much. My husband handled the divorce, himself. Somehow he had custody of our 5-year-old son at that time. So I imagine I went from being wife of 13 years to being a mother of 5 years to having none of that anymore. I was divorced. My son was living with his father, and I should have been full on my God thing. I was like, should have been, but I was not. I fell in love with my career. And so that was my thing. I was fully successful in my career. I was winning awards. I was being sent to Hawaii.
Your career?
I was a customer service. So that's what I was very good at customer service. I went from nursing to customer service. And I was so good at taking care of other people's customers that I got awarded, like I said, a trip to Hawaii. And at that time, I was very promiscuous because I had got this new body. Yeah, sure did. I had lost a husband. He was doing his thing. Got me a new body. Started smoking weed. Started drinking and popping pills. Okay? Because, again, I had a new identity. Okay. And I was a caregiver for my grandmother, who was, again, my everything. She was definitely a second mom to me. So she had got diagnosed with end-stage renal kidney failure. So she had in-home dialysis. I was her caregiver along with my uncle daddy, and during that time we had, again, drugs and alcohol was my thing, but not deep drugs. I just thought just enough to get me to function. That's what we self-medicate to function. Right. So that's what I was doing. I lost, again, just lost my identity, lost who I was, definitely left the church altogether. And when my fast forward to, I won a trip to Hawaii, was going to take my grandmother, who always wanted to go to Hawaii, with me. She got very ill before we went to Hawaii, so she couldn't come on the trip with me. So I said the trip was wasted, so that's what I did. I went for it. I was drinking, doing all the things, let someone drive my car. We crashed into a tree. I was so messed up and out of it now. He ran on foot, just ran, left me there. And I was so out of it, I was telling the police officers, I'm on medication because of this and this, and I'm getting ready to go to Hawaii tomorrow. Like, I didn't have no, record. Hello, girl, you just been in a police car chase.
Oh, God.
With your brand new car.
And you think you're still going to Hawaii?
Yeah. But you know what? God's grace and mercy. Guess what? I did go to Hawaii. Good. Can you believe I went to Hawaii? By myself, fully sober, though. That week vacation, I thank God for that. I was fully sober because I didn't think to take any of my drugs with me.
Why are we laughing at this?
That is not funny. Lord, forgive me.
It's life. It's life.
But just the sheer thought of it, it's just so backwards. It's just... it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm praising God for that, His grace and mercy. Because again, now that I look back, I know that was Him. I know that we were building a relationship because again, we're starting from the bottom.
Building your testimony.
Now I'm here. Started from the bottom. Now I'm here. Started from the bottom. Now whole team here. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, but no, sincerely, that week of sobriety, that gave me a shift, and yes, it did bring me back to grace and mercy, and When I got back from Hawaii, very quickly, my grandma, who had just got over a sickness, very quickly, her health became deteriorate, and we lost her. So I had my identity was so wrapped up in being her caregiver, and this new opportunity God gave me to be close to her and to do something valuable. Wasn't a mom no more, wasn't a wife no more. So again, I became lost again. But God's grace and mercy, my ex-husband brought our then 6.5-year-old son back home. So I was a single mom and raising my son and grieving the loss of my grandmother, who was the matriarch of our family, who had just left everybody scattered. It's my best way to sum it up. But here I am, mom again, fully embracing all the wonderful adventures of being a single mom and a boy mom at that. I was pretty good at that. But then in comes a man. Another man. Yep, it was but I thought I was grown this time. I was like, I'm 36. I know what I need in life. I know what my value. I know all these things that I thought I knew. But then he said the one thing that I thought I needed was that he was going to not take from me, but add to me.
Okay.
Yes, he was going to add to me. Oh, yes, he added all the things. He added all the things. And again, my child's dad was not there. My son's dad was not there. So he slides in, and my son wanted to take his last name. So I thought that was for sure a sign. Yeah. And all the time he was adding to me all these things. I missed the things that were being taken away.
Like what?
Like my relationship with God. That was the first thing that was off the list, because now I had a man that was adding to me so much. A new place, new things, new adventures. I lost my identity. I forgot who I was, because I had to go ahead and put all my eggs in the basket. He was being a daddy to my son. My ex-husband didn't even want to pay child support or do anything for me or fix my car. He can fix a car. He can build a house. All these things he was adding. And then I became pregnant with my daughter. Again, adding. And I had, by the time I was addicted to every possible thing.
And so in addition to him adding all of those things and taking away some of the most important things, you were heavily on drugs.
I was heavily on drugs. It was not even Carmilla. And the one thing that I don't know why this came to my thought, but I was like, ooh-wee. I remember when I told God, you got all these, you let a crack. And I was no crack. That wasn't my drug of choice. Now, that makes a difference.
Right, no.
I was like, ain't that something? I am a crackhead. And I've been blessed not only with a daughter who was 4 at that time, my son. What was I doing? It was not even Carmilla. I remember this very vividly. I was up for about, I don't know how many days I was up, and living in a trap house. And when you live in a trap house, you always know something's gonna go down. Death was always looming over you, but you just was in the trap house. But this particular day, it was different. It was different. It was like a demonic presence. It was like heavy. Like I could feel the enemy on the way to get me. I heard, I can hear him saying he was out to kill me. Okay, like it was like, and again, I knew I had to get out of there. It was like it was either do or die. So I, with no shoes on, jumped out the first floor window of this trap house and just ran. And I just ran and ran until I could no longer feel that evilness hovering over me, ready to take my soul, take me down. And I remember hiding in my neighbor's bushes. I was like, I don't know what I thought those bushes were going to do, but I hid face down in those bushes, hunker down, and because I knew the enemy was coming to get me. And like I said, I couldn't even think. I was stuck, and I couldn't even think of words to pray. So I started singing.
What you sing?
Jesus, build a fence all around me every day. Lord, I want you to protect me as I travel along the way.
And I know in your questions you said that you were looking at an ant.
Yes, so I had sang that song. I sang that song until I must have drifted off. I woke back up. And when I woke up, my face was fully in the dirt. And I remember being eyeball to eyeball with an ant. And those ants just kept marching on. They'd mind their own business. And I was like, oh, Lord God, if you could do it for the ant, please do it for me. Please help me. Please forgive me. I need you.
Like the prodigal son moment.
Oh, yeah. I was definitely the prodigal son. When your face is in the dirt and you're so low that you can see you're looking at ants eyeball to eyeball. Yeah, you're in some trouble. But a loving and kind God who does not keep tally, he rescued me spiritually. He came and got me, y'all. Like, face down in there, he came and got me. Yeah, that was definitely transformative for me. So after being transformed literally from my face down in the dirt position, transported to Malibu, California, which is a drug rehabilitation best in the world. Imagine being out of your mind, living in a trap house, coming from the dirt. You know,
Coming from the dirt, you got a whole...
having the best therapy and everything. And he told me that this was going to be painful, but he promised that he would be with me. And he has stayed with me the whole way. And coming home to face my wreckage, to fully understand the damage done to my children and my family, and not to fully understand the trauma that happened to me and the ones that I caused, it was a bit much for me to accept. So instead of facing it, I decided that I needed to die. I decided that suicide was the only option for me. But God had another plan. He had another plan for me, and he spared me yet again. His grace and mercy spared me yet again. I thought it was just for me, but understanding what changed it for me when he spared me, it wasn't for me. We're supposed to be the light bearers of the world. We're supposed to be able to reach down and tell people, hey, we have a God that's so massive that even if your face is in the dirt looking at ants, even if you've been in the trap house for days, even if you had an abortion, God still loves you so much that his son Jesus died on the cross. Now, all the stuff that we put in between there, all the rules and the law and all that stuff, that's you and God need to work that out. But don't let nobody ever tell you. Don't miss your opportunity.
You can never be too far from God's grace.
Never.
And that's what's so dope about it.
Isn't it so dope? Isn't it just like amazing?
It's so...
Isn't it amazing?
Look, we could go on a tangent about God all day long.
Yes.
Because he's amazing. How did you get aligned? And then how do you stay aligned daily with the different habits and the different things that you learned?
Oh, absolutely. So, first of all, prayer and meditation, that's near and dear to me. Having that one-on-one time with in the morning, just getting in his word, reading, and that relationship. He's my friend. He's my friend. I can tell him everything.
He already know everything you must.
I know, yeah, but it's when you profess it from your mouth, and he just still just oh my God, it's just amazing, that daily thing. And then also staying humble. I'm gonna say the things that I'm trying to do now is eat healthier, eat living food and not dead food, but just keeping what he wants me to do at the forefront of my thoughts.
What are some of the things you had to give up?
Oh man. Oh, fear, false evidence appearing real. That thing right there. Believing in myself more than believing in him. Believing in my own limitations and not fully just embracing his grace and mercy. Let that go.
What would you say to someone who's still stuck at start?
Go.
But the fan is just
go. Just go. No, sincerely. I just want to encourage you. No matter how low you are, no matter how low you think you are, hold on to what's true. That you are a child of God. Okay? There's nothing in this world that can separate you from that. And just know that you are, anything that you've been through, can be used for his purpose too, and his glory. You never know. A good friend of mine, we were sitting at the Sweet Circle one day. It's a non-for-profit that my friend has. And I came into the room. I said, soaked in gasoline. I was soaking with gasoline of intention. And someone told me, a good friend of mine, maybe Talia Broadway, I think that's her name. She said that there's somebody out there waiting to hear your testimony, to hear your story. And if you sit on whatever you're sitting on, that person could be waiting. For how long? And why wait? Why wait? You know, you were spared on purpose. You were spared by design. And I'm excited to hear what you have to share too. Good ass shift.
And I remember that day, and I remember that I felt not so prepared. But then when I looked and I said it was FOWOT, fear of what others think, and then
Yes.
SW, some will, someone, so what, someone's waiting, and you were just in tears, and I was just thinking to myself, like, you was bawling. I said, I didn't say nothing that magical.
Yes, you did.
But and I say all that to say, because in my head I was just like, I'm grateful that something that she was touched by something, but I didn't say anything that would make her go to tears. But you never know what the least little bit that you can say to someone. And ever since then, girl, you've been on fire.
Yeah, I know.
She was like me. I am
Yeah.
waiting. People are overcome by the words of your testimony.
Yes.
And one little thing that you can say that can change, that can become that spark,
Yes.
that can start that flame. And I'm grateful for you, because you showed me that I didn't have to do no dance, or I didn't have to say no big old encyclopedia word. It was just me being me and sharing that we all have a job. We are all held accountable to do God's work. And so thank you for being that spark for me that day. And I was just like, okay, I get it.
Yes, good. I'm happy you did, because I'm telling you, from that day, I got busy. God, I felt like everything was set. I went and did Rise Business Academy, graduated from that, opened my business, Compassionately Healed, started my book, Gracefully Broken, Compassionately Healed, my journey through addiction, restoration, and falling into my God-given purpose.
You're a jammer, girl.
To God be the glory.
God be the
But I was trapped. I was mute. I didn't have a language. I just needed your testimony. You showing up just like you were. Just yes. And I appreciate that. And so what that proves to me, and I hope that proves to your audience, because I know you're going to be amazing, is that no matter where you think you are stuck, somebody is waiting.
Somebody's waiting. And it's conviction. Get out of your head and move. But let's go to the gas fast 5. So you got 3 seconds to answer these questions. Okay?
Ready.
What's your personal power word right now?
Transformative.
Ooh, I like it.
Yes.
If your shift was a song, what would the title be?
To the window, to the wall. Her shift, get up and crawl. They are. Lord forgive me. Okay, here we go.
Okay, one daily habit you don't skip.
Oh, reading my Bible. I will not stop. Every day I got to read it and see what new he got for me.
And what's your definition of living a good-ass shift life?
Oh, wow. Fully accepting love. Unconditional love for yourself, your past, your future, and loving somebody else. That's the shift. When we realize there's nothing we can do to be better than God. There's nothing we can do to not get his grace and his mercy, but to be happy, joyous, and love. That's a game changer.
It's amazing.
Yes,
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
And fill in the blank. I'm living proof that.
I am living proof that there is no depths far enough that if you believe in God, he can't reach.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Proof.
And are you on social media at all? Or
I
where can
am.
people find you?
You can find me on Facebook. You also can find me at Compassionately Healed Omaha at gmail.com. I am working on my social media platforms fresh out the box, but when I know more, I'm going to tag my sister here, and you guys can get all the information from her good ass shift. Okay, there we go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carmilla, for coming on the show. I am super excited. I am in awe of your strength and strength that God has given you. I think that you are a beautiful soul. But one of the things that I just want to touch on, because we touched on it, is just how amazing God is. And I think that I'm grateful that we were able to make that shift from law to grace and understand our value in God, so then that way we can be content in our relationship with God. And I think that is something that was lacking back then. This generation seems to understand it's more about a relationship instead of the do's and the don'ts or whatever. But it's just so funny how you said that he's your friend. Like, me and God, we be chopping it up. I be like, your kid is crazy. I said,
I talk about his kids all the time.
About me, okay?
Too.
Your kid is crazy. You made me like this. It's wonderful to sit down here with believers and people who have overcome things and who are still standing strong and ready to shift their life for the better and ready to be an inspiration for the next people to come. Yes. And so I thank you so much.
I thank you so much. I'm so excited for your conference. Oh, you're so amazing.
Thank you.
You are so amazing.
You are too.
Hey, we amazing.
We
What the kids do, like this little finger tap.
T.
Is that it? Is this what it
I
is?
don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that alone. We always go over all that.
You take
But-
that E.
Oh,
E.
eat.
Let's just
Yeah,
stop.
no, let's stop it.